Every day I vacillate back and forth. Will these two settle or not? Well, major update on that front. Hello, my friend. Perez Hilton here, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your number one source for everything It Ends With Us saga. What makes this case so peculiar is not that what happened behind the scenes is very unusual. That's pretty common in Hollywood. Celebrities get an overinflated sense of ego, and the system coddles and enables their horrific behavior. What's unusual is that we're seeing it all play out. And social media is an integral player in all of this. And we are fueling the decision-making for both of them. 9 times out of 10, when you have celebrities disagreeing legally about something, they will end up settling out of court. It is in both of their interests to do that. However, no, says his lawyer in a brand new interview. And as I've also told you, he is blessed. Baldoni and I share the same attorney, and he is ridiculously expensive. He's also not giving me any information or influenced me whatsoever. I just made a video earlier today defending false allegations against the hair care professional. But what also makes this saga so different is I think that Blake Smollett and her husband guessed that he would cave to their demands. And he didn't, because he is blessed with a billionaire friend and partner in his production company. Steve Sarowitz, I have been told, is paying all of his legal bills. That will easily come out to, at a minimum, $10 million, I'm guessing. I'm not at liberty to say how much his lawyer charges, but do the math, people. A basic lawyer, a good lawyer in Los Angeles is $600 to $800 an hour. A basic one, a basic good one. Do the math. The judge in their case, Judge Lyman, even mentioned that recently because the judge is so over all of this. He wants the lawyers to stop getting their check and he wants these two to settle, but it's not happening. Bryan Freedman just chatted with the Town podcast and said a lot about the case and about why Justin Baldoni will not settle. The podcast host told his lawyer, "I do not believe there will be a trial in this case. I just think that the potential for the circus and the damage to both sides here will ultimately win out and you guys will settle. So, if that's the case, why not just settle now? What is the number? What would it require for this to go away?" Well, Freedman responded, "You keep referring to it as a circus, and I get it. You see a lot of cases. You see a lot of things, but the reality is this is not a circus when you go through an experience like this. I've represented a lot of people in the worst moments of their career, the worst moments of their life. Justin has been destroyed by this." You know, because sexual harassment allegations are a, quote, really serious thing. And that is why Baldoni is not backing down. Freedman, his lawyer, says, in this day and age, the only way you can truly get back is to prove your innocence, and that's what we're actively working to do. That may only be able to be done in a courtroom. And sadly, if it does make it to trial, which is scheduled to start in March of 2026, it won't be televised. The reason that Johnny Depp Amber Heard was televised was because that was not a federal trial. This is in federal court, and those are not televised. But I will be covering it all, every little detail. So make sure you're following me, but I'm sure you are, right? You've got taste. And his lawyer is pretty accurate. That's why we've seen Jay-Z go so hard against that woman that made now seemingly false allegations against him. He sent private investigators her way and got her on an audio recording confessing that he had no involvement whatsoever, and that her lawyer pressured her to say that. And that's not all. Jay-Z is also suing that woman and her lawyer, Tony Busby, for defamation. Defamation is also one of the many claims that Justin Baldoni has made against the former Keeper of Dragons. And yes, he is suing Scarlett Johansson's ex-husband and his current wife for $400 million. But it's not about the money. And also, if he does win the $400 million, the money goes to his billionaire co-founder, right? Right? It's not about the money. It's about clearing his name. And Betty Buzzkill has leveled up, not only calling him a sexual harasser, but also repeating that claim and calling him a predator. And that is why his attorney says that a trial is necessary. There won't be any settlement. Quote, "The minute the New York Times story came out, Justin was done for all intents and purposes. The court of public opinion was against him." That's true. After that New York Times article came out, I was against him. That is true. But then I read his lawsuit. And then I read his other lawsuit, because he initially just filed suit against the New York Times, then against the Plantation Princess. And after reading those complaints, every single word, I could tell what really happened. I saw who had the receipts. But to his lawyer's point, I'm not your average person. Normal Bob and Betty aren't poring over all of these documents. They don't have the time or the interest, really. So, in the eyes of a lot, it's not a good look for him. Even though I do believe social media is on his side. But as his lawyer previously said, this has hurt him financially. He's lost work because of these allegations. His lawyer says Justin was done for all intents and purposes. The court of public opinion was against him. There was no side that he had in this. There were no facts that were on his side. It was really important to come out with real, true facts. We love facts. I love receipts. And lawyers are paid to lie. Saying that he will never settle against her, that's a tactic. It is still a real possibility, I believe, that he will settle. I don't know if it's a high possibility, but it is a possibility. Especially if the longer this drags on, the more it continues to affect his business. The more hit pieces come out attempting to expose him. The more heartache this causes his wife. Yes, social media is on his side, but this fight is not for the faint of heart. And is it worth it? Has he already cleared his name? TBD. I would love the trial to happen, and his lawyer says it will. Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it's necessary? What would you advise him? Lots of questions to discuss. Let's get into it all in the comments section. Thank you for your support. Your number one source for everything. It ends with us. Saga.